on the YouTube this time. What was the first radio station you worked at, First Lord? Well, I think the Scottie McClue phone-in went on Red Rose Gold in Preston, which at that time was huge. All good in TikTok, says Mark. Thank you, Mark. Very, very good of you. So there we go. Got the bam pots on the phone. Not yet, but they will do. Scotty, I love that you're sitting on the fence with Celtic and Rangers. Well, no. I mean, that, you know, one team doesn't need to take precedence over the other. You can just decide on which is the best team. If I was choosing, I would choose which one had won the most games and support them. That's how it's done in Glasgow, as far as I know. So there you are, and Dinky-Doo. Do come and join us, guys, as soon as you possibly can. And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, do tell me if you can hear me. You know, because we seem to have this all the time. Wee problems, wee gremlins. But it's only on a Saturday night at 9 o'clock. It's working. You've got it, Kareem. The lovely stuff, a Dinky-Doo. It seems to be just a wing and a prayer, all put together with chewing gum. So there are. Who needs Rangers and Celtic when you can support Morton? Cammy, I don't think I've ever heard a truer word spoken. Why don't we get rid of all the Rangers and Celtic rivalry and everybody supports Morton? You know, I think that would be an excellent idea. And all the money goes into Morton. And we all shout, are we ready after two? Mon the ton! What do you think of the world putting pressure on Russia? Well, it was interesting listening to Donald Trump. He said that had he been president, the war would never have happened. And he says that when he becomes president, it will be over in no time. So there you are. So let's all root for Mr. Trump. We can't discuss his actual position because that's still live. But we can talk about what a great man he actually is, and America is behind him. My man is a huge Talbot supporter. I love the junior teams. It's brilliant. Have you ever had old school Scottish ginger beer? Yes, I have. I was brought up in a place called Greenock, the English like to call it. And here's a great leader, Trump. Yes, he is diamond. He's a diamond geezer, I say to you, as you would say. And the interesting thing is we had two big lemonade companies. We had Lawson's Lemonade and Jagger's Lemonade. And it was fantastic. Scotland had lots of local lemonade companies. And my grandfather was actually an aerated water manufacturer. At least that's what it says on my father's birth certificate. Thoughts on bread, says Oran. I think as long as you're well-bred, Oran, it's not a problem. Isn't Greenock now going down the Swanee, says F document? Well, I don't know about going down the Swanee. Greenock was, when I was brought up, was one of those stunning towns in the world. And it had made its fortune in the sugar industry and the shipping industry. Running sugar from the West Indies into Greenock and refining it in Greenock. And you had all the big names in sugar in Greenock at the time, so there was plenty of money in Greenock. But Mrs. Thatcher managed to clobber a lot of it. The Tories always cause tremendous damage when they're in. Have you noticed that? I mean, I'm not saying don't support the Tories. I'm just saying, isn't it interesting the damage they do to the infrastructure, like Dr. Richard Beeching in the mid-1960s, really, really, really damaged the rail network and infrastructure for this country. You sound like Donald Stewart from Benidorm. I don't know Donald, actually. I'll maybe get to meet him. Where are you originally from, Scotty? I'm from Greenock. Originally, James, I'm a Greenockian, a branch of the green oak tree. And, Greenock, I think, should be the financial capital of the world because it's got beautiful houses. It's a beautiful part of the world, beautiful views. It's got the river there. I can remember all the Clyde steamers, that sort of idea. Sounds nice, says F document. Oh, it's beautiful. And of course, you've got the airports, you've got the communications. So there we are. I really want to hear your reply to this. Red Rose Radio Days. Yes, indeed. Who said that? It's gone up now. There we are. 110 agreed, sir. Have a great night. Absolutely, Jamie. And a big dinky-do to you. Lovely to have you with us. Guys, if you're on the YouTube channel, is everything working now? Are we all happy? Has everybody come back and joined us that was there before? I did, says Exploited. You came from Greenock. Aha! Fantastic. We like that. Now, follow us, please, on the TikTok. Can everybody start tap, tap, tappity, tap? Yes, John Taylor, fantastic. The Red Rose Radio Days. Beautiful. Red Rose. What a wonderful radio station that was. But like all great radio stations, you know, it gets changed. What's your thoughts on Trump's view on LGBTQ? Well, I'm not familiar with his views on that, so I couldn't possibly comment. Aqua time, General Sip. Oh, that's beautiful. Has anybody tried to phone up yet? Are the phones working? That's what we need to know. Will Morton beat Rangers in the 19th, Cammy? Anything's possible. Did Darvel not beat Aberdeen? Am I right in thinking that? Or did I just dream of that? Are you a cruiser? A cruiser? No, if I was identifying as a yacht, I might have a cruiser stern. Somebody on the phones. You're live in Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Hi, Scotty's David. Tell you, son.
David's son. All right with you. What about this problem at the start? What was that like?
That's right. I can see you, but I couldn't hear your voice again.
But do you know what worries me about this, David? A lovely chap last week, he said, I'm going up the road to listen to Scottie McClue. And then I was talking to him the next day, and he says to me, oh, you came on, but I couldn't hear you, so I had to abandon it. And I thought, oh, no! Do you know what I mean? It's hard enough on the YouTube without folk abandoning it, you know.
You know what I mean? If it's not working, just go to Tiki-Talkie.
Go to the Tiki-Talkie and join us on the Tiki-Talkie and follow us and subscribe to the YouTube, you know.
I noticed you put my voice on it, the horse whisperer.
Did you like that?
That was good. Thank you very kindly.
And somebody tipped you the wink. I saw somebody tipping you the wink.
That's good. So you were talking about Greenock?
Yes.
Greenock's all right, but there's an old abandoned town. I think you've heard about it. It's like Chernobyl.
Chernobyl?
Right, but it's the abandoned town in Greenock. It's been abandoned for years.
Oh,
it's on YouTube. You'll go to YouTube. I forget the name. I'll need to think the name again. It's like Chernobyl. They abandoned it. We don't know why. It's a ghost town.
Yeah, but not Greenock. You're not talking about Greenock, are you?
Yes.
Oh, are you? Oh, Greenock's been abandoned.
So they're abandoned for years. It's like lots of streets and an old church and an old chapel, old shops. We don't know what happened back in the day, but they decided to pull it down the next few years. They're going to reset it again back to a new scheme.
This is in Greenock?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I wonder which one's that.
I forget the name of it.
Right. Right,
oh,
right.
Dear.
Here's a lovely guy called Ben, says, how do we get on the phone, Scotty? I've got some matters to discuss. You just phone up, Ben. 0141 628 9795. Can you all see that? Is that the right way around, I wonder?
You know, everybody keeps saying, then you got a bit of paper. Do you know what I mean?
Is that the right way around, Davey?
You used to put it up the screen, but you shouldn't need it because everybody should know by now.
They should know it by now. But well, maybe what it was, I went on one of these multi-streamers, but they were looking for money, you know.
Aye.
And all that stuff. And it must be possible to put it up in the bottom of the screen, but I need to get an expert.
No, we don't need any more.
We don't need any experts.
People should just use their knowledge. Do you know what I mean?
They should write it down, Davey.
Because John asked me to write your number. He's got his new house. He's got his envy house now.
Oh, bless him.
I had to give him your number.
Aye.
So he said he might phone you in,
Good.
you know, but I don't know what he's doing now.
We'll get a wee chat. You never know. That would be lovely.
Aye,
Here's
exactly,
Susan
son.
says, I missed your show last week. I was in the hospital. I got home yesterday. So can we send Susan some big love, please?
Oh, was she in hospital?
She was in the hoppy. Yeah, she was in the hoppy, she said.
I used to talk to her on the phone, so I did.
Yes, there's Crawford asking, how long are you on this evening? So I'm just saying, well, we're on for an hour till 10 o'clock.
Exactly.
God willing, weather permitting.
So, anyway, how are you? Are you okay?
I'm absolutely stunning, David. I popped up this morning and we did a wee quick half hour just to see the troops, and I've popped up a lot of new TikTok videos and YouTube videos. But the TikTok, they love it. They're away with it right away. But the YouTube's a wee bit slower for some reason.
It's just that it's like a wee gremlin or something.
Aye. We've just got to tell people what's what. But Davey,
yeah, you know.
Let's not kid ourselves, right? There's a lovely saying: if you can't have what you like, then like what you have. Now, I think what we've got here. Well, I think what we've got here, yes, and what we've got, you do get me, and what we've got here is amazing, because this time, a couple of years ago, it was unheard of. A live phone-in with Scottie McClue. How are you going to get that?
That's what I'm saying. We're sicky like the old stations on the radio. It's always music.
The same stuff,
you know
music,
what I mean?
music.
As we know you're coming back to radio, and we don't know when.
Well, no, we don't know when.
Happening.
And the only reason we don't know when is because I don't know when.
Aye, but the managers are in contact.
Yes, we're in contact, and the boy was on his holidays, so I'm going to probably speak to him next week and see what's what.
Oh, here we go.
See what we can do.
You're going to have a wee talk.
A wee chat. We'll talk Turkey, and if we can get on, know that I'm going to Turkey. That wasn't a hint, but we'll talk Turkey, and then we'll see what's what. Because see how quick we can get it all together.
We'll have a Christmas show and a New Year's special.
Oh, you can have anything you like. Once we start,
a wee Halloween ghost.
Oh, a wee Halloween frighten the life out of each other. Absolutely, yes, absolutely. You know. Oh yes, it's crazy stuff. I mean, I like Halloween because it's the one night of the year I don't have to dress up. You know?
Exactly. I mean, I just put my masquerade on as well.
Just put your own clothes on.
My face is my masquerade.
I phoned the guy about the Halloween party. I said, "What do you want me to wear?" He goes, "Just come as you are." There's Stephen.
One time I done my house up. Halloween one day, I just done it up. I got all this mad spider web stuff, but I really hate spiders. But anyway, I put it on the wall and it looked dead real. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you, I remember somebody saying they wanted a spider for their birthday. So I went into the pet shop.
Oh my goodness! Oh my God!
I went into the pet shop and there were 50 quid. Aye. So I thought, no, I'll get something cheaper off the web.
Aye.
Did you get it?
Good one. Brilliant. Do you like spiders, really?
John, I don't mind spiders. You know what a fear of spiders is called?
It's a phobia, of course.
And it's called arachnophobia.
That's
arachnophobia, and it's because arachne.
My house had got quite a lot of them because I was built house. This block was built up in the 60s.
Oh yes, aye.
Has your house got spiders? Do you think?
Oh gosh, of spiders. I mean, you get a day's looking at them, you know.
Aye.
I don't know if it's got spiders, but it's got plenty of webs.
Come indoors, they don't like a lot of heat. If
no.
It's too hot, they will come in the houses.
And you think of Robert the Bruce and the spider.
Oh, did he have a spider, Robert the Bruce?
Well, Robert the Bruce, this is the story that saved Scotland. He was lying in his bed. He was lying in his bobos. He was a bit done in. Old Robert the Bruce. And he was in the bobos and he was looking up And he thought, I can't keep fighting like this. And then he watched the spider weaving her web. And he thought, if she can do it, I can do it. So remember Robert the Bruce and the Spider. If at first you don't succeed, try again.
There you go. You know what I mean? Imagine being in Australia.
Yes.
The big ones there. Oh,
yes. But you see, the great big ones, you've got to watch them, the tarantulas.
I know the tarantulas. Oh my God.
Oh no, you want to watch that? No, I'm not talking then.
Horrible big legs.
No,
You know what I mean?
no. Now, Arachne was a weaver in classical mythology. Arachne.
My cat stood outside the cat's room.
Aye, that's right.
And last week there was one under my unit, and my wee cat Lily, I alerted me to it. I ran to it, tried to get it. But the wee bugger spider went into the table somewhere.
Oh well, as long as it's safe, that's the stuff. Always look after a spider. Davey, I'm going to have to dash. You take care of yourself.
Yes,
and as we say, dinky-doo, Davey. And we'll catch up later. Ta-ra-la-la. Dinky-doo. That's our Davey. What a guy. Fantastic stuff. Now then, what have we got here? What's happening? Here's the chat. Jans to the door on Halloween, Scotty. Well, I don't like to give the winds a fright, you know. Are you pro-oil for energy security? Yes, I think before we start doing all this stopping oil and climate change, we've got to make sure that the energy is secure. And we've got lots of oil, so drill, baby, drill. We've got lots of coal, so let's get the coal fires back on. The coal-fired power station. See, when they shut Long Annet, now Long Annet was a wonderful big coal-fired power station in Fife, and I think they should have just mothballed it until they were sure that the windmills would turn, because the windmills aren't very good in the wind. Oh, Davy never fails to make the pair of us laugh, so he does. Top man, so he is. Francis, absolutely. I love a wee killie pie. Do you drive petrol or diesel? I drove diesel till very, very recently. One of the best things. Diesel engines are quite brilliant, and we shouldn't be banning them. Wonderful, the DERV, although they took over from steam. It was the government that banned steam. You only got steam for the heavy haulage. So there we go. Now, Darren is obviously a dafty. So can we all say good night to Darren? That's Darren away for being daft. That's him. Bye, Darren. Come back when you can grow up. Rap the patter. This man's a national treasure. What's your take on Ulysses? Well, why is he doing it? Do you know what I mean? Maybe it would be cheaper to abandon London and bring everybody up to Greenock. And bring their money to Greenock. That's what I would do. I think that would be great. So, guys, if you don't like Ulysses, leave London and come to Greenock. That's what I would say. Now, here's the wonderful Jerry Thompson. Hi all, says Jerry. Hi, Jerry, says Susan. Jerry's the #1 van driver in Scotland and the West. Hi, Scotty. Hello, Jerry. So lovely to hear from you. And dinky-doo, I say. Big furry spiders, them, Scotty. Oh, Jerry. Yes, never stroll and never troll. Thank you, Francis. It's implemented in Glasgow too, though shocking. It is, Stephen. It'll just stop people going into the town. And maybe that's what they want to do. And then the town will just be left empty. Everything will be left empty, and that'll be the end of that with their implementing their don't come into our city. I would say all welcome. If you can get part, good stuff. There we are. But that's it. We've got new people with new ideas wanting to curb everything that we do and tell us what to do all the time. So that's that. Although I did check out the car and I can go into the city anytime I like. So that's good. because we're at the petrol. Get following as soon as you can, guys. Tremendous stuff here tonight. And if you've just joined us, a very, very warm welcome. Can everybody go tap, tap, tappity, tap, tappity, tappity, tap, 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 tappity, tap, tappity, tappity, tap on their phones? We've got 1,500 likes. You have some voice. Love it. Thank you, Biss. You're very kind. Do you think they should bring back national service, Scotty? Well, it might be an idea for the young people and get a bit more respect going. I think definitely. David's saying he hopes Susan's better, and we all send Susan love. Union Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of whiskey. So how could we finish that one? Jill came down with half a crown, and Jack was awfully frisky. I don't know. Energy complete that one. It's nothing to do with pollution. It's to stop people entering cities to spend cash. So there's more online buying. Wow, Peter, interesting. Anybody agree with Peter that they're trying to get us to stop getting in? But that would just bankrupt all the shops and leave the cities as ghost towns. I thought we were supposed to have 15-minute cities and all move into the cities. So there we are. Wonderful. Everybody saying hi to the wonderful Jerry. This is Scottie McClue's world, and we just would live in it. Jill fell down and broke her crown, and Jack felt awfully frisky. That's better. Although poor Jill, you'd have to take her into A&E. She might be lying in a trolley for hours with her broken crown. Too true, I say to you. Absolutely. Your favourite newspaper, says Jay. Well, I used to write for The Sun. And I also did a bit of work in the early days for the Daily Record. And one of my great regrets is that I was a generation too late to write for The Citizen. That's when you really had your top journalists at The Citizen. There was a wonderful journalist, I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember him, called George Ritchie. And George was one of the most, perhaps the most intelligent man I've ever met. And I've met a lot of highly intelligent men. How's your week been, sir? My week has been outstanding, Jimmy. Definitely with the state of the NHS these days. Are you watching the boxing? No. I don't watch that. There was some boxing going on in the bus the other day, and 2 tickets got punched. Well, what you up to tonight, Scotty? Broadcasting live, Billy, on the TikTok and the YouTube. Is that not beautiful? Yes, then the ghost cities get turned into the residential areas. And where do you shop if you're not online? See, I feel for older people, pensioners and stuff. They phone up and they say, hello, dear, I don't know I can afford my electric this month. And they go, oh, well, if you go online and chat. Now, if you're a wee soul right up a high rise, thinking, what does she mean go online? DINKY-DOO, Mr. McClue? How are you this fine evening? We're beautiful. We can't advertise Johnny Boy Bake, but good try. Guys, general sup. Are we ready for a general sup? Oh, that's beautiful. Now, I've got the accordion with me tonight. So we'll maybe get a tune before the night's out. I'd love to meet you, sir. You're a very inspiring man. Jamie, you're very, very kind. If we can inspire, we will inspire. Because everyone needs to be inspired. There we are. We need to start thinking differently. If we're going to get treated differently, let's start thinking differently. Rabbi Shepherd, yes, bless Rabbi, R.I.P. Rabbi. Do you drink Corona? Do you remember the Corona? Lovely, with the wee rough bits on the bottle. Corona lemonade. It was mainly down south. I used to get it at my aunt's in Berkshire. In case you never noticed, Scotty, we're watching you. Are you watching me? I'm never too sure of you, Professor Numpty Heed. Can you give us a blast of the Bluebell Polka? No, I couldn't give you that, JD Donnelly. Are the phones on? The phones are on. Give us a call. Can you all get the number? Wait till we see if we get the number for you. Can everybody see that? Is it the right way around? Is it the right way around on the YouTube? And is it the right way around on the TikTok? Do you know, TikTok used to have a superb button. And on TikTok's button, you could just click it and you could move things around. And I can't find that button now. Does anybody know where it is that changes that? Do you play the accordion? Well, I've got one now. Don't know if you could call it playing. Do you mind the bon accord? Yes, I've had a drink in the bon accord. It was wonderful. Scotty the Goat, Robbie Scott, you're very kind. Very, very kind indeed. Dinky-Doo, says Robbie. That's what I'm saying to you. So what would be the point in shutting everybody out the cities? If you look at the cities in the 1900s, the horses. Now, the horses put out a fair bit of methane. So how would that be with your carbon capture? You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
How you doing, Scotty? It's Kenny from Saltcoats.
Kenny from Saltcoats. What a joy to hear you. We haven't heard from you for weeks.
No, I know. I've been busy. I've been up at Aberdeen, but that's me back down on the west coast.
And were you talking? Were you speaking the Doric when you were up there, Kenny?
I'm starting to talk like them.
Aye, that's right.
To get that way.
That's it. That's lovely stuff.
Decided it's time to come back down the road.
Come back down and start speaking Saltcoats again.
Oh, everything's great, but just what you were talking about there. When I came back down and I've gone up to Glasgow doing jobs, I'm an electrician. I can't take my van into the town centre anymore or my diesel car.
Well, you see, then they're going to run out of having a top electrician.
So what are you supposed to do? I mean, you're supposed to take your tools and jump on a train?
No, you can't do that. You just have to. I think Glasgow will just end up getting abandoned by everybody because folk aren't going to go if you can't take the car. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's no, see my van, I've only got a wee van. It's only a wee two-seater.
If you're a Sparky, Kenny, if you're a Sparky, you need your tools. You need to say, I see what's wrong here. I need to nip to the van and see if I've got one.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's not a big van. It's not a big old
it's
van.
just for wee connectors and
so
screwdrivers and cables and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a wee bit of sticky tape and stuff like that. No, it's gone a bit daft, the whole thing, Kenny. But how's Saltcoats doing?
Saltcoats is lovely, but they've rejuvenated. I don't know if you ever saw it, the Sea Queen.
Oh, right.
It's not publicly funded, so that stopped for a few years.
Right.
And the kind of town got together with, you know, the likes of the GoFundMe's and the wee Facebook things, and they got it up and running again this year, and it was really good. It was good to see again.
There's John. John goes, it's a van, the whole point. I don't know what he means by that. A van's not allowed into this. I mean, what's going on? Alan says, Scotty, you look AFM, not Alan. AFM says, Scotty, looking fit as always. Isn't that lovely?
Superb, Scotty.
So we need to get you going. Kenny, it's lovely to hear you, my boy, and I'm so glad that we've got this. We were moaning about the technical side earlier because it let me down at the start. And the problem with people have got a very low tolerance. They get very impatient. They go, it's not working, I'll no bother. Instead of saying, well, give him a minute and see if he sorts it. You know what I mean? Folk are no like that. So, but I'm thinking how lucky we are to have the phone in and to be able to do this. I think it's brilliant.
Absolutely. Yeah, I saw that at the start where things weren't working properly.
No, sometimes. Right. And it's only a wee click, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, Scotty.
That's it. But
wait to hear from you again, my friend.
Lovely, Kenny, and you take care of yourself. Love to Saltcoats and Dinky-Doo.
Dinky-Doo, Scotty.
Dinky-Doo, Kenny.
Later.
Love you lots, Lara. Top man, that's Kenny. Top Sparky. Can he take his van into the city because of this new ban that's come out? Low emission zone in Glasgow now, says Robbie. Yes, Robbie. An imposter and YouTube star claims to have broken the phones in the 80s. Is that true? No. Nobody's broken the phones except Scottie McClue. There we are. Nobody's ever come close to the audiences I got, even in the biggest stations in London. So there you go. Saying yeah, says Nikki. So there we go. Everyone in the Carnock Bar in Greenock is a big fan. We'll get you on the telly every Saturday live. Love to the Carnock Bar. Now, am I right in thinking you're just behind the fire station? Is that right? Have I got that right? Scotty, the living legend, says Old Git. Absolutely. We love the Carnock, Francis, and the lovely people. So there you go. You're kind of at the Carts Bun there, aren't you? And the Delling Bun. You're between the Delling Bun and the Carts Bun, I would say. Have I got that right? Scotty, can I ask a question? Now, here, what about this? What about this? What about this? Here's a guy. Your favourite pastry item? Oh, I think the vegetarian lattice slice in a rich chicken sauce. What have we got here? I see your team got pumped, Scotty, old boy. Hail, hail. Did the Celtic get pumped? Oh, hail, hail. Sorry to hear that. Oh, am I down? Is that right, though? Have I got that right? My team got pumped. The poor hail, hail, guys. On the hoops, I say. So what have we got here? Scotty, the living legend. My dad always told me knowledge is power. Do you agree, Jay? That's one of mine. Your dad and I would have got on like a house on fire. So there we go. Neil O'Gormley's joined us from Bournemouth. Neil, lovely to have you. Hi, Scotty. I'm late again. Yeah, Neil. Tut, tut, tutty, tut. It's like people that go, what time do you call this? I remember an old friend of mine, he arrived at his work and a secretary savaged him. She said, you should have been here at 9 o'clock. He said, why, what happened? What's your thoughts on the Falkirk game today? I don't have any thoughts on the Falkirk game, bagpiping ginger, because I don't know what happened. Was it at Broxville or Brockville? Have I got that right? So there you have it. All right, Scotty, DINKY-DOO, Smiggy. Lovely to have you with us. Time for a general sup, guys. Now, let me know if you'd like a tune on the squeeze box at some point. Thomas has just given me a chicken. My goal tonight is 3 wee crowns. We got the 3. I couldn't find the 50 or the 100. 3 wee crowns. So there we are. Maybe put another goal up later. Falkirk 1-2-0. Well, there you go. My thoughts on the Falkirk game are that Falkirk 1-2-0. That's my thoughts. Is that not fabulous? Back from our premier seats at Capello, right to the Carnock for a wee dram in McClue. Am I right? That's the Carnock there, isn't it? I'll need to look in and say hi to you. And TikTok. Yes, Robbie Scott, we're on the TikTok and the YouTube. It's tremendous. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, please do us a favor and subscribe and tap the bell so that you get your notifications. Because there's no point in me going live if you don't know about it. Can you play the Bonnie Wells of Weary? Beautiful song. Jay, I agree with you. The Bonnie Wells of Weary. Robert Wilson singing the Bonnie Wells of Weary is my favourite version. The Bonnie Wells of Weary. So there we are. And I love the bit that goes, and Johnny Cope, we all his men were scattered tapsulteary. La 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 beside the wells of Weary. Oh, marvelous, lovely stuff. It is a nice one. I'll practice that up for you and give you examples. A lot of the time I just do it off the top of my head. Tom Phillips says, DINKY-DOO, Scotty. No spam calls, says Robbie. There's been no spam calls tonight, Robbie. Hello, Robbie, says James. DINKY-DOO. Hello, James. They are having a wee bit crack with each other. Isn't that lovely? Can everybody share? I'm frightened to share it in case I lose y'all. Howdy, howdy. There's Angus has joined us. Tremendous Angus. Lovely to have you with us at DINKY-DOO. Nice singing voice, Scotty. Thank you, Jamie. You're very, very kind. So there we go. Now, what have we got here? Oh, Thomas has liked the live. Have you all followed, though, guys? Can we get tapping? We've got 1,900 likes. We had one last week. We ended up with 10,000. So we've got 8,000 taps. Tap, tap, tappity, tap, tappity, tappity, tap. Tap, tap, tappity, tap, tappity, tappity, tap. There we go. On the old tappy, tappy. Scotty, can we get the accordion, please? Well, James, I don't know if everybody wants the accordion. We'll see in a minute. You're live in Scotty's phone in. Who's that? Hello.
McClue, DINKY-DOO, it's John Boy.
John Boy, how are you, Lala?
Oh, fantastic. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm better for hearing you, I have to say.
I'm getting tested to phone you in to Davy voice, so you're going to have a quick call.
That's wonderful, John. I am delighted because Davy said that he'd given you the number. And I thought, well, I hope he phones. How are you doing? I'm still here, yes.
It's a bad line, so there you go.
But not to worry about that. How are you keeping, John?
I'm keeping okay, Scotty. One day at a time.
Day at a time, my boy. That's a day at a time, John. And listen, remember, we're walking beside you all the time.
Thank you, Scotty.
All right. So you're never on your own.
You know the only person who said that to me. You're not alone.
Good.
Alone.
No, you're not alone, John. And you've got a lot of serious positive energy coming there for you. So just you use that and think, no, I don't need this. I've got a better life.
I've also got a lot of negative, you know.
Oh, of course. Of course. No, listen, John.
Negative things going on, so
negative things going on. And listen, nobody's saying it's a bed of roses, but you've got to do your stuff.
Difficult, Scotty. Addiction is a terrible,
it's terrible, but you've got to break it. You've got to break it. I had it with the tobacco, and I've been 21 years. I had it with the tobacco. I've been 21 years dry from the tobacco.
Now, Scotty, this place is called the abandoned place Stephen's going about. It's called the Clune Park Estate.
I know where you are. Clune Park is probably Port Glasgow.
Port Glasgow, that's it.
Port Glasgow, the Clune Park, yes.
Right.
Yes, and I think they're going to rebuild it all because Port Glasgow's another place that was very wealthy in its day because it had several shipyards.
Really?
Yes, seriously, and it's a lovely place. And the people from Port Glasgow, the Portonians, are lovely people. And the Portonians. Yeah. And what happened is Mrs. Thatcher managed to wreck the place and the shipyards all closed and the people had no work. And then the price of the property fell and then nobody wanted to stay there. And then the druggies got in and that caused a problem. And you know, on it goes in a downward spiral. So it's time to bring it up. This is why I wanted Scotland to be independent. Nothing to do with the SNP, nothing to do with all that nonsense. What it was to do with was economic independence. Scotland keeps its own income and spends it in Scotland.
Scotty, let's face it, what did Margaret Thatcher not fucking destroy?
Oh, no, it's all right. You can use the word destroy. She wrecked the place.
Yes. What did she not do? What did she not do?
She just wrecked the place because she wanted. That's it. She took all the money to London.
The union is now disunion. Every union ends in a disunion. In my opinion, Scotland.
That's right. That's right. Yes. I mean, nobody wants it. I mean, Brexit was the killer. Everybody said, well, just get away from that Westminster now because look at the prices in the shops. Look at the empty shelves. You know?
Honestly, Scotty, £1.79 I paid for a warm, I'm not mention the brand, a loaf of bread.
A loaf, I know. £1.79. No, I can remember it. I can remember it when a loaf was a shilling.
Yeah. Scotty bread, milk, your essentials,
Yep.
eggs,
All
stuff
that.
like that.
It should be
Used to be
absolutely
cheap.
rock bottom.
Used to be cheap,
Yes.
and it's just gone up and up
Up
and up
and up
and
and
up.
up. Yes. Yes, I can remember eggs at 4p each.
They were there, yeah.
4OD.
A wee bit before my time.
A wee bit
Scotty,
before
just a
your
bit.
time. Well, wait till I tell you this, John. You used to get the bus to school for tuppence, 2OD. That's 1p.
1p, right, okay then. Okay, Scotty.
So there
And
you go.
Scotty, what have you been up to?
Oh, busy all the time. I told somebody this morning, he says, what are you doing the day? I said, I have a list as long as your arm. I don't know how long his arm was, but I had a list as long as his arm, you know what I mean?
Now, you were off 2 weeks ago. I seen you on a bus.
Yes.
Where were you, Scotty? Just out for a wee...
I was just out for a jaunt and just have a look at the world, you know.
Yeah. You know, Scotty, I fancied that yesterday, and I said, I'm going to go and jump on a bus. I went to the bus station, and I picked the first bus that was leaving. It was Edinburgh.
Right, all right.
And I got through there, and I ended up in Edinburgh Zoo.
All right.
And just, you know, it was great fun. Just pure random.
Just pure random. Good one for you, John. We love it. That's fantastic.
The only thing is, the giant pandas were way up the top, as far as you can go, and my legs aren't as good as they were.
Chi and Anan.
But it was worth it.
I can remember Chi and Anan, the giant pandas.
Chi and Anan.
Chi and Anan, the giant pandas.
I don't. Well, there's two still there, but they're going back to China next month.
All right, maybe they're booked a holiday.
Sweetie and Sunja. But they're gorgeous animals.
Well, apparently the pandas phoned the holiday company and they did the deal, and then they said to the holiday company, "Can we have that in black and white, please?" See what I just did there?
Scotty, you are one short of a
I'll tell. Well, you see when they're moving them, John, they usually ring the police, right? And they send a panda car.
Was it a panda's eye with it?
That was lovely. So you take great care of yourself.
Yeah. One thing, Scotty, can you see David that I love him so much?
He knows that. He knows that. I can, of course I can. He knows that, and he loves you, and he sends you strength.
Oh, I know he does.
You know, and that's it.
I don't know how he puts up with me.
No, well, it's no too bad at all. But then remember, I'm no living with you, and you're no having to live with me.
So I love to love you. You make me laugh at every single day. Yeah, you're nuts. You really are.
I'd make you laugh just by being myself.
Actually, just be yourself. That's it. Don't be anybody else. Just be you.
Don't be anybody else. Just be yourself. And listen, John, you be yourself and take great care of your dear self.
And you too, Scotty. And DINKY-DOO.
And lovely chatting. I hope so. DINKY-DOO, la.
DINKY-DOO, la.
DINKY-DOO. See you, la, la. There we are. Davey, I hope you caught that there. That was John. That was a lovely call. Somebody's spamming me here. Abdul is spamming me. He says, play the accordion. There's Robbie saying, will you be live tomorrow? We're live now, Robbie. Yes, always enjoy. Who's this? You're live in Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
DINKY-DOO, Scotty. It's Tom here again.
Tom from Belfast. How lovely to have you with us. And DINKY-DOO.
DINKY-DOO. I'm just noticing here on the YouTube, is that a wee English Cocker Spaniel in the background there in the photograph?
In the photograph, that's a black Labrador.
Oh, right, very, very good.
Yes, yeah. That's Lord Reith. And Lord Reith used to come with me to the radio stations, and he never missed a show.
He was an average listener then.
He was a great one, and one night a chap phoned and he said, have you got a dog in the studio? I said, why do you ask? Because we thought it was a secret. He says, because I'm blind and I listen to your show and I hear his collar medal when the news jingle fires. Now, as soon as the news jingle fired at 1 o'clock, Reithy got up and shook his collar where he'd been lying and looked at me as if to say, "That's it, are we going out now?" And his cue was the news jingle. He was so clever. You know, he knew the news jingle and he thought, "That's it, we're away, we're finished."
But your dogs are like that, you know.
Yeah.
Dogs have always been like that, you know.
Well, that's him. He was a lovely, lovely guy. And then we had wee Clyde after him, and he was great as well.
You had somebody talking on the phone there about the price of milk and bread and all the essentials.
Yes.
Nobody's talking about the price of used cars nowadays. Like, the price of used cars is near double. I know the cars, and you pay only about very little underneath what it would be brand new, you know?
Yeah. Now, I'll tell you what's going on here, I think, and you correct me if you think I'm wrong. I think, guys, if everybody's watching on YouTube, please go down to the bottom left and click the thumbs up so I know you're there. And please also subscribe and tap the bell to get your notifications. Sorry about that, Tom. I thought I'd just better tell them while they're there. Now, I think what's happening is people were taking cars on what you call the drip, the never. So effectively, they were just borrowing finance, and they were going to a big dealer, no names, no pack drill, and getting a car at maybe £200 a month. Now, I think when COVID hit, what happened there was people thought, can he afford it? So the company said, well, we'll need to take the car back. We'll have to repossess it. And when that went back, they then thought, well, we can't afford another one. So second hand, let's get something. And as long as it starts and runs. So people are running about now in what we used to call bangers. You see, and I think they're quite right as well. But I mean, you can do very well. You can get a car. I mean, it's not cheap. It's still might be £1,000 or something, but it could very well start and run because modern cars tend to be fairly reliable.
I had a friend of mine. I know you don't know names or anything like that, but it was a small hatchback car.
Yeah.
And he was going to bed at March 2021, and they were looking £8,000 for it. Now, the very same car, now that the car is even older, they're looking £12,000 for it.
Oh, wow. So they're going to get that, are they?
Pardon?
They'll probably get that then if that's what they're looking for or get near it.
Well, I don't know. I think they're okay with what they have, but they were just having a look about, you know, but that's unbelievable. And now the car's older and it's 50% more expensive, you know?
Well, see, I can remember second-hand cars. You really had to be a very good salesperson to actually get the car sold because the market was flooded with them.
And then whenever you do take an interest, they say, oh, can I take your number? And then next thing you know, you're getting bombarded with phone calls from them.
Right, all the rest of it. And I had a friend who was an excellent car salesman. He really was. And he always sold a car. And he never bothered the customer at all. And he just walked round and waited till the customer spoke to him. He let them sit in them and play with the steering wheel and try the gears and all that stuff. And then he would maybe say to them, you know, they would catch his eye and say, excuse me, could you tell me how old's this car? What's the price? You say, that one, sir. Yes, do you see anything else that you fancy, you know? And then he would talk to them and find out a bit. You know, and they would say, I haven't got a great budget. And he would say, well, that's a 6-cylinder car. That would take, they're quite juicy, they're quite thirsty. I'll tell you what I have got. I've got a lovely wee hatchback sitting around the back that's a 1200. And that would be a lot more economical. Oh, could I see that? And that was how he did it, you know what I mean?
Right. It's a good idea.
He got the chat going. So he didn't go running up and bite their head off. Can I help you there, sir? You know?
Yeah. And then you get they should never really have your number, you know, because as soon as you give them the number, they're ringing you and asking you to come up. And
well, that's right. That's right. But I mean, I remember saying to a friend, he was wanting to change his car, and he said, but the prices are too high. I said, right, just tell the salesman that's what you're looking for your car. And that's what you're prepared to pay for the other one, not the new one, the other one. And he said, all right, can I do that? I said, of course you can do that. And he did it. And the salesman, oh, I don't think so, sir. And then the next thing he says, oh, well, we'll leave it at that. He was driving out. The salesman came running after him and going, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Sure, that's a good tactic, you know.
Well, no, that was it. He just told him straight. He said, that's what I had.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he didn't have any more money, and he went, well, that's what I'm looking for my car, and that's what I'm prepared to pay for the other one. And that was it.
I was looking at a company there that sold computers, laptops.
Yeah.
And they would always go around angling the laptops at exactly 70 degrees. And the reason being is that at that angle, from where you're standing, you would need to adjust it to get a good look at it. And then once you adjust it, you sort of get a connection with it. And that's like a sales tactic. You nearly feel as if it's yours.
Isn't that interesting? Yes. I love all these things because I love the concept of selling, and I love business being done, and I love commerce, you know, from that point of view. You know, it just makes me wag my tail, to put it in Labrador speak.
It's good that you can have the brains on you to be able to do that sort of stuff, you know?
Well, it's nice to see somebody get what they were looking for at the price they were looking for, and then two people are satisfied. Because the garages used to have a fair bit in a car anyway, and now they've probably even got more.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so they can play around a bit with it.
Absolutely, yeah. Sure, you know what it's like. What scrum did you have tonight, Scotty?
What?
What food did you have tonight?
The scram. Tonight. Well, I'll tell you what I did have. I had the lawn sausage and the black pudding and an egg.
You can't beat the
You can't beat a nice, proper Scottish / Belfast evening meal.
I've had many meals like that myself, Scotty. Many meals.
You know, a nice, a good Northern Irish tea.
And it hits the spot.
But I didn't have any soda bread with it, and I didn't have double yolkers and porkers.
No titty bread.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the stuff. A wee touch of the old soda bread.
Oh, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. Fresh from the bakers, you know.
Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Tom, a joy as always. I'll dash off and we will catch up again soon.
Yep, good speaking, Scotty. Thank you,
yes, and love to you and love to your granny, my boy.
Thanks very much, Scotty. I'll let her know.
And DINKY-DOO, sir.
DINKY-DOO, Scotty.
What a fine man. There we are. An absolute credit to Northern Ireland, our Tom. Right, everybody's shouting, play the accordion, play the accordion. Would you like a tune on the accordion? Okay, let's just see what's what here. Right. Here it is. I brought it up for you. Okay. Has everybody got that? Can you all see the squeeze box? I'll put it the right way around for you. That's it there. Just so you know I'm actually playing it. If you think, is he playing that? Or is that a recording? Right. Are we ready? There you are, my dears. What about that? A wee tune on the squeeze box for you from Scottie McClue saying DINKY-DOO. Excellent stuff. Now, what else have we got here? If you're on the YouTube, I need another 6 thumbs up. So go to the bottom left and you'll see a little thumbs up and give us that. Who we got here? Hello, you're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Oh, Scotty, I love that wee tune. I was mesmerised. Thank you. You've got a beautiful soul.
Like that, Davy. Bless you. And John was on. John Boy, and it was a lovely call.
John, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for what you said to him. People is on his side, standing beside him.
Yes, and he knows that, and he knows you love him, and he knows he loves you.
Yes,
not a problem.
My friend.
Yes.
Seriously, what a man you are, you know.
And he was interesting with the Clune Park estate in Port Glasgow.
That's the one, Clune Park.
I couldn't quite work it out when you were saying it's like Chernobyl.
Scotty, see you before you go to bed tonight. Go to YouTube, you'll see how interesting things are in Clune Park right now.
No, I know it.
People's going there, all the ghost stories.
I know it very well because if you put into your YouTube, Scottie McClue visits Port Glasgow. Then
that's correct. I've seen a lot of you there.
You'll see that. Right, you see. And I went to the wee comment, and apparently they've let it rot, sadly. But it's the people I'm interested in. This is why I wanted Scotland to keep its own money so it could invest in places like Port Glasgow. Because the people of Port Glasgow are lovely.
Why was it? They talked about the manufacture, but why did they let it rot away?
Well, she let it go, you see, because she took away the shipyards. She sold them cheap to her man. Well, a company that her man was involved in, you know.
The old lovely tenement houses are amazing.
They're beautiful. You know? Lovely flats, and a lot of them are wrecked, and there's old beds lying in the close.
Oh, that's right. There's a few people still staying in that.
Yes.
6 tenants.
Yes,
you know
bless them, I say. We send them strength.
Yes, we do. Indeed.
And I would say to people, give them respect.
I love you so much.
I love you, my boy. You take great care of you, and DINKY-DOO.
DINKY-DOO, son.
And we send love to John tonight. DINKY-DOO. DINKY-DOO, that's your Davy. What a guy. That's great. Wonderful stuff. Now then, did you like that wee tune, folks, on the accordion? Just for you, saying DINKY-DOO. Now, I'm missing lots of chat. Cheers, bud, DINKY-DOO. Chelsea fans versus Rangers fans. So there you are. Love you to attend and run the auction for the Lee Rigby charity. Thank you, Peter. Scotty, are you feeling a bit cheeky tonight? Not any cheekier than normal, you know. What does FLOTI stand for? FLOTI stands for the First Lord of the Internet. I said to you, 2,700 likes. Hello from Indiana, Scotty. Isn't that beautiful? There's real Indiana is with us tonight from Indiana in the USA. I love it. I love the internationalism of this show, guys. Pardon me. Cheers, bud. There we are. Some him eat and canna eat, and some wad eat who want it. But we him eat and we can eat. So let the Lord be thanked. AFM, how beautiful. Does anybody know what that's called? Yes, some him eat and canna eat, and some wad eat who want it. But we him eat and we can eat. So let the Lord be thanked. Yes, indeed. What is that called? I ask you. So there you go. I'll maybe tell you before we go, but we're going in 1 minute. I cannot believe it. Amen. There we are. Inspirational. Yes, indeed. Big John's a top guy, says Stig. There we are. Fantastic. The Selkirk Grace. Chris, you're right. Chris Roddy has got it in one. It's the Selkirk Grace. DINKY-DOO. Love you guys. All the very best. We are out of time. Ta-ra, lads. Fantastic. And our beautiful YouTubers, we will say ta-ta to you. Stick your tongues out and say ta-ta. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.